Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 FM.com. Here is the Z107.7 Local News for Thursday, July 17th, 2025. Earlier this year, Z107.7 reported on allegations of improper euthanasia practices at the town of Yucca Valley's animal shelter. Since then, the shelter has undergone a 90-day operational review, and town staff has been providing updates on improvements to the shelter. But locals who have been showing up to the bi-weekly town council meetings have expressed frustration with the council and say the town is avoiding what they see as the real issue at the shelter. Animal Care and Control Manager Doug Smith joining us with more on the town's latest animal shelter update is online news editor Robert Hayden.
Deputy Town Manager Shane Stuckel opened with a refresher on the 5 key performance measures that were taken from the 90-day operational review of the Yucca Valley Animal Shelter. A standing committee has been formed by the Town Council, which will hold its first meeting in August, and a volunteer recruitment process is scheduled for around the same time. The floor was then turned over to Brooke Dudra for an update on community engagement. Stuckel noted that she voluntarily stepped up into the ad hoc role of the shelter's social media manager, changes that Stuckel said
would not have occurred without Brooke, and I want to recognize her for that.
The deputy town manager briefly touched on some statistics like a euthanasia rate for dogs that has been reduced by half. That figure would later be challenged in public comments, saying that the reduction was because euthanasia had been put on hold pending the operational review. But before those public comments opened, town manager Curtis Yakima took the floor and gave the first of many mea culpas offered that night.
The lack of care for Howdy has set the town back significantly in our effort to implement best practices. As town manager, I am ultimately responsible for shelter operations, and I am very concerned about our ability to accurately and independently identify and execute the necessary actions required to implement best practices at the shelter.
Howdy was transferred to the Joshua Tree No-Kill Shelter in late June, and once there, they said he not only needed basic grooming, but he also required emergency medical care for a urinary blockage and a bladder rupture. The scruffy white Maltese has become a symbol of what some are saying is a pattern of neglect and apathy by the shelter. One thing that had yet to be mentioned by any member of the town that night, Yucca Valley Animal Shelter Manager Doug Smith. It's a name that the public wouldn't let the town forget, as it was uttered over 50 times during the 90-minute public comment period. Resident Michael Kennedy was the first to speak, and he set the tone with a passion that was consistently matched by other commenters that night.
We have dominion and control of the animals, but we're supposed to take care of them. And what's been going on here has not been taking care of them, it's been abusing them. And I think there's lots of investigations that should be done here. It's outrageous.
Many residents displayed signs calling for the firing of Doug Smith, a figure that has been at the forefront of criticisms lobbied at the shelter, but has been notably absent from every town council meeting as well as the 90-day operational review. The town's complete avoidance of addressing the public's distaste for the shelter manager hasn't sit well with local resident Craig.
Why are you avoiding Doug Smith? Fire Doug Smith.
That sentiment was more or less repeated by other public comments. Many times during the public comment period, council members could be seen visibly frowning or shaking their heads in reaction to accounts of neglect. That somber tone was carried into council member comments, where Mayor Jeff Droz said he was embarrassed by the treatment of Howdy at the shelter.
It should not have happened. I'm embarrassed by it, and I apologize. And I don't want to detract from what we're doing. I think all this negative energy...
Negative energy?
Yes, we could partner together.
We have to stay on track. This is our track.
Victims are the animals.
Yes.
Little boys, hey, Jeff, are you going to pay Howdy's bill?
Jim Schooler, who's a part of the standing committee for the shelter, seemed to get closest to directly addressing the staffing issue that the public has said is the primary problem at the shelter.
As for management of the staff, I know that things do take time, but I'm in favor of giving direction to the town manager to speed up that process and fix the problem. We've been at this 5 months, and we just need to fix the problem.
Yes.
With that, the update was accepted by the council, and the room emptied out into the hallway while the town council continued on the night's agenda. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
Thank you, Robert. You can find a longer version of that story on our website, Z107.7 FM.com. Last night, the Morongo Valley Community Services District Board of Directors met at Covington Park's multipurpose room. Reporter Gabriel Hart was there and joins us with this recap.
For continued business, the board discussed whether the CSD will move forward with the Morongo Valley Dog Park, legal boundaries and proximity to the preserve, and means of funding the project. The board discussed utilizing the CSD property by the elementary school, while President Gorky raised concerns about liability and proposed it being for a one-at-a-time single-family use only. The board tabled it until further information was gathered. For acquiring lighting and security cameras for Covington Park and Geeson Field, the board voted to go with Ring cameras instead of using ADT, citing it would be more affordable and ADT being potentially unreliable for its price. For action items, the board discussed turning their property next to the elementary school into a neighborhood walking path, with Buddy Stogner volunteering to carve a path through the middle with his tractor. The board discussed adding signage after they look into liability issues with the Special District Risk Management Authority. The board made a correction on the agenda's reported work release program. These will not be inmates being utilized for park maintenance. Rather, it would be previous offenders out of custody who need community service hours. The board voted to move forward with this work release program. The board moved forward with their lease agreement with the Desert Region Fire Safe Council, who will be occupying Morongo Valley Fire Station number 2 starting August 1st for $1 a year. Since the Fire Safe Council will be footing the bill for all repairs needed to get the building up to code, they will not be responsible for a security deposit. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Gabriel Hart.
A special meeting was held yesterday to select and appoint a new director to the board of the Bighorn Desert View Water Agency. Annalise Kuiper joins us with the details.
There were 3 applicants, Sharon Fain, Ralph Megna, and Rod Miller-Boyer, and all 3 were asked the same questions and gave extensive replies. Questions about the candidates' willingness to travel to conferences and take educational classes to learn more about water and the agency. Becoming comfortable and familiar with the rules and regulations of the Brown Act was considered important and was also specifically asked of each candidate. In the end, candidate Rod Miller-Boyer was elected with the requisite 3-vote majority. Here he expounds on why he is the right person for the job.
I don't know what your needs, your most important needs are at the agency. If they're mostly technical, you mostly need somebody that has lots of pre-existing knowledge about how water systems operate. I'm probably not your guy. If on the other hand, somebody who can communicate with others in an ongoing fashion, cogently, listens well, and loves solving problems and analyzing them well, I might be your guy. So here I am again. Thank you for giving me a chance.
New Director Miller-Boyer was sworn in by General Manager Marina West, and a hearty round of applause ensued. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Annalise Kuiper.
Two members of the Z107.7 family are performing with their bands at a free show Thursday night at Yucca Valley's newest music venue, Mojave Gold. Pat Kearns, host of the Z107.7 Local Music Showcase, is performing as part of the Kearns Family Band. The Kearns family, Pat and Susan, will be performing a farewell show in the high desert before they depart for an extensive tour. The Kearns Family Band takes the stage at 8 p.m. They'll be followed by Hotel Mercy, the new band from Z107.7 reporter Gabriel Hart. He and the boys will rock your ear holes with poetic crooning, with high intensity at maximum volume. Come by Mojave Gold for this totally free show. They're located at 56193 29 Palms Highway in Yucca Valley. And finally, now celebrating its 25th year, the Keep Abreast Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit with a mission to reduce breast cancer risk and its impact globally through art, education, prevention, and action. On tomorrow's Z107.7 Up Close show, host Gary Daigneault will talk with Keep Abreast founder Shani Jo Darden about how the artist and fashion designer came to develop the unique program headquartered in Yucca Valley. All about the Keep Abreast Foundation on the Z107.7 Up Close show live tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and available as a podcast at Z107.7fm.com or wherever you get your podcasts. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, I'm News Director Jeff Harmetz.